The question that so many people have been avoiding is finally impossible to ignore. The moment of truth for Pi has arrived, and what happens over the next few weeks could define whether the coins you've been holding become a source of real value or one of the biggest missed opportunities in crypto history. While some pioneers are quietly giving up and walking away, believing the dream is fading, others are watching something powerful take shape beneath the surface. The forces that will ultimately decide Pi's real price are already in motion, and the market is beginning to choose its direction, whether you see it or not. If you don't understand the different paths Pi might take from here, it's easy to make a move you'll regret later. That's why in this video, we're cutting through the hype and the noise to look at Pi's future with real honesty and insight. I'm going to walk you through what's actually happening, the signals that truly matter, and the likely direction this project is heading based on patterns from real markets, not wishful thinking. We're well past the phase where Pi was just an exciting idea on paper. This is no longer the dream stage. We've now stepped into the real market arena where actual supply and demand begin to collide. This is where true price discovery happens. For years, all it took was tapping your phone and waiting. But that era has ended. Now, this is about understanding market behavior, psychology, and strategy. It's about moving with intelligence instead of emotion. After studying data, trends, and behavior from other early crypto markets, I've found that Pi is walking toward one of three broad outcomes. You could think of them as steps on a ladder, each one representing a different stage of market maturity. Understanding where Pi stands on this ladder might be the key to your next decision. Let's start with the first possibility, the one that makes many holders nervous. It's the slow or cautious path. This is where prices remain low, sometimes even dipping before they rise. And while that might sound negative, it's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it's often a normal phase in a young market's life. Remember, millions of people have been waiting for years to finally exchange their Pi. The urge to sell the moment trading begins is powerful. When many people try to sell at once, supply floods the market, and naturally, prices soften. It's basic market logic, more sellers than buyers means downward pressure. Another factor that affects this scenario is where Pi gets listed first. If it starts on smaller, lesser-known exchanges, liquidity might stay thin. Without enough trading volume, big buyers stay cautious, they want to see stability before jumping in. Add to that the fact that real-world utility takes time to develop, businesses need to integrate, apps need to be built, and what you get is a quiet, patient market. Growth becomes steady instead of explosive. It may not feel thrilling, but this stage builds the foundation for lasting value. If you notice low but consistent trading activity and gradual adoption among merchants or platforms, that's not failure, it's construction in progress. The second possible outcome is what experienced investors call healthy progression. This is the ideal middle ground, where Pi doesn't skyrocket overnight, but grows with strength and stability. It's like building something valuable, brick by brick. First, more exchanges begin to list Pi. Then volume increases. Developers launch useful apps that people can actually benefit from. Businesses begin to accept Pi not just to make headlines, but because it genuinely works as a payment method. Cafes, online shops, freelancers, each new participant adds confidence to the ecosystem. As adoption grows, media coverage shifts. What started as skepticism begins to transform into cautious respect. The crypto industry starts to pay attention. Slowly, Pi gains recognition as more than a community experiment, it becomes a legitimate digital economy. This is the scenario that creates lasting value. You'll notice steady upward movement, expanding liquidity, and consistent real-world usage. These are the hallmarks of a network that's maturing in a sustainable way. Then there's the third and most dramatic scenario, the one everyone secretly dreams of, the rocket moment. This is when everything aligns perfectly, and Pi turns into the story the entire crypto world can't ignore. Imagine waking up one morning and seeing headlines that Binance, Coinbase, or Kraken has officially listed Pi. Suddenly, social media explodes, news outlets scramble to cover the story, and everyone who dismissed the project before is now desperate to join in. Big investors pile in, trading volume surges, and prices skyrocket faster than most can process. The excitement turns into a global phenomenon. But here's the truth most people overlook: rocket scenarios can be dangerous if you're not ready. What goes up quickly can also fall just as fast. During these times, traders, whales, and short-term investors move in, chasing quick profits. If you don't have a strategy in place, you could end up selling too soon or holding too long. The winners in moments like this are the ones who made a plan when things were still calm. Decide ahead of time what portion of your pie you'll hold long-term and what portion you'll secure for profit if prices surge. That balance can make the difference between success and regret. No matter which scenario unfolds, a few core forces will always shape pie's journey. First, demand is the heart of everything. The more people and businesses want to use pie, the stronger and more stable its value becomes. Next is exchange access, liquidity. The easier it is to buy and sell pie on multiple platforms, the healthier the market will be. Then there's holder behavior. If most people choose to hold long-term instead of selling, supply tightens and price stability improves. And finally, sentiment, how people feel about pie, can move markets just as powerfully as numbers. One positive announcement can attract waves of buyers, one piece of false information can trigger panic. That's why trust matters so deeply. Trust in the team. Trust in the technology. Trust in the process. If the developers keep delivering, exchanges keep supporting, and businesses keep adopting, confidence will grow naturally. But if scammers, rumors, or misinformation take over, the ecosystem can stumble. Stay informed, avoid emotional reactions, and follow only verified updates. After studying all the data and observing how similar projects evolved, I personally believe pie is heading toward the middle path, the steady growth scenario. Real adoption doesn't happen overnight. Integrating payment systems, building apps, gaining trust from businesses, all of that takes time. Some people will lose patience and sell early. Some will panic. But history shows that the projects that last are not the ones that burn bright for a moment and vanish, they're the ones that build carefully, with purpose and vision. And that's what makes pie unique. It's powered by one of the largest global communities in crypto history, people who have believed in it from the very beginning. That collective belief, combined with real development and utility, could transform pie from a simple experiment into a lasting digital economy. The next chapter is already being written, and how you choose to move now could define your place in that story.